Hey all, this is Jeff with ZipFit, and we're going to talk today about removing cork from our ZipFits. So the tools I have with me, an empty tube of cork or 1/2 inch diameter plastic tubing, plunger, you'll see what that's for in a second here, and my liners. The left liner is just room temperature, so we'll see removing cork from a room temperature liner, and the right liner is warmed up. So we'll see whether it's easier to remove cork from a liner where the cork composite is warmed up or a little bit cooler. So starting, locate your cork ports in the tongue and on either side of the instep. Ideally we are removing cork because maybe we switch shells and our lovely ZipFits that have 100, 200 days in them, these are probably around 150 days in them. We want to swap them to a slightly lower volume shell, and we're going to remove a little bit of cork to spot fit and make it more compatible. So we're going to take empty tube. I like cleaning it off a little bit. These get quite sticky. And starting with the room temperature liner, I'm going to try to remove some cork from the lateral ankle pouch. So I'm separating that cork port, sliding the tube in, and the easiest place to actually access cork is going to be this region of the chamber. So I am just going to fish a little bit here, and we'll see what I pull out for an initial amount. All right, that's pretty good. A tube of cork comes with 15 grams of cork. I would put that maybe 4 grams, so not quite a third. I'm then going to take my plunger and plunge this further up so I can extract some more. I'll try to refill this tube so that it's at 15 grams. So if I need to add cork to a different liner, I know how much is in the tube. So we'll go back into that same ankle port, and maybe I'll try to get 1/2 a tube of cork out of this ankle. So 7.5 grams. I'm now gonna point down a little bit more toward the actual ankle itself, and I can kind of feel with my finger where the tip of the plunger is, or the tip of the tube is going here. Let's see what we got there. Nice. I think if we push that back, we're gonna see about 1/2 a tube of cork. Yeah, I would call that 1/2 a tube of cork, maybe just over 8 grams out of the lateral ankle pouch. Now, when I go to refit that, I'm gonna warm up the liner, and I'll basically migrate or maneuver some of that cork around with my hands. So it's redistributed a little bit, put it back on my foot, tighten it up, try it into my new shells. While this one is still nice and warm, let's see about extracting some cork from the tongue of this, and if it's a good idea or not to warm up the liner for removing cork. So same deal with the ankle pouch. We're gonna go into that cork port. On the tongue, you can kind of direct the tube and the cork a little bit easier. And I have my hypothesis, which is that warming up the liner for removing cork will actually make it a little harder. Yeah, so not quite as much removed from the tongue. When the cork is softer and warm, it basically is just more malleable. So instead of pushing the tube kind of like a battering ram into that cork and having that cork have a little resistance so it actually fills the tube, when it's warmed up and softer, you're kind of just pushing that cork around within the cork pouch. So my recommendation, if the liner is room temperature, that's going to be great. It's nice to have a plunger handy so that you can kind of push the cork further up into the tube as you go. And I would, I guess, caution against taking too much cork out of the lateral and medial ankle pockets. This is a 26.5. If you remove 7 or 8 grams of cork, that's pretty significant. I would then try that in your new shells, warm up the liner, and see how that fit is. In the tongue, if you need to just migrate some of the cork material to allow the boot to close better over itself, you can do that with your thumbs, just pushing some of that cork further up into the tongue, or remove some from the tongue as well. So hopefully this helps you achieve removing a little bit of cork from your ZipFits. This is about 8 grams of cork that came out of a single ankle pouch. So I think were I to take cork out of all 4, I think we could probably do close to 30 to 45 grams of cork, probably 3 full tubes that I could remove from these liners, and that's something I could do maybe 15 minutes of time. So there you go. We will always have empty tubes available upon request. So if you need an empty tube, reach out. If you have a cork kit and you end up using a tube, hold on to that empty tube because it becomes a very helpful tool. As always, if you have any questions, ask in the comments or reach out to us. Thanks.